not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chronic Gamer. My name is Matt, and this is my final thoughts and redirect video for Rurouni Kenshin episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7. So go ahead, click the link in the description, check that out. Come back here, let me know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see next week's reaction video, be sure to check out my Patreon. Link is also in the description, and you can go over there and watch the early access vid that's going to be on YouTube next week. Okay, these episodes were fan-freaking-tastic. I loved every one of them. We got a new character, Sanosuke, formerly known as fuck, I forget. I forget what his name was, but it's not important because that's not what he goes by anymore. It was like Zarzan or Zanza. Zanza? I think it was Zanza. That was what it was. Yeah, his name was Zanza, I hope. And he was a member of the Seki Hotai. And they were like a group that worked with the Imperialists back during the Meiji Revolution. Same as whatever group, I guess the Manslayer group you can call it, that worked with the Imperials that Kenshin was a part of. But they were used as a scapegoat because they were given these orders to go around helping out the weak and telling them that the taxes would be lower and all sorts of stuff. But when they realized that it was almost impossible for them to achieve it right then, and that people were still following the old ways, and they realized they didn't have enough money, that they needed to keep taxes high, they decided to use that group as like a scapegoat and blame all of the problems that were going on them. And they used that as an excuse to pretty much wipe out that group, which was fucked up. And that's where Sanosuke was. He was just a kid, and he looked up to that group, and especially that his master, I'm forgetting his master's name, but that was a crazy, brutal scene, and I give them all props for standing up to what they believed in and for protecting Sanosuke. I'm going to keep looking down at my paper until I remember his name, but they protected him even though they were coming at him with the swords, and they just would jump in, or I'm sorry, not swords, with the guns. They would just jump in front of the guns and tried to save him, which was awesome. But unfortunately it caused him to grow up with like a grudge towards the Imperialists. So when he came across Kenshin, and the Raikage dude told him who he was, he wanted to kill him because of his grudge against the Imperialists. But upon fighting him, which was an awesome fight in which like Kenshin was able to predict his moves and all sorts of stuff, after fighting him, he realized that Kenshin isn't really that person, and after speaking with the group, he decided to join them. And I kind of predicted that was going to happen because he didn't seem like a bad guy to me, especially when they first introduced him and Kenshin gave him that little smile. Kenshin seems to be a great judge of character from what I can see. Like right away, he can tell if somebody's a good guy, and just that little bit of smile there that he gave him led me to believe that he would eventually be an actual member of our group here, and he is, and I'm really glad because I liked his character, and I continue to like his character, and I'm anticipating great things to come from his character. So it's getting me excited to see where this show continues to go, because I don't know. This is a show that I never even heard of before I started doing reactions. I only heard of it after the poll that I did for when I started Inuyasha and Fate Zero. Somebody nominated it then. It didn't win then, but it won this time. So I didn't know anything past its name. So I am definitely enjoying it, and the fact that I don't know anything makes it even more exciting. So Yeah, I'm really glad that he joined the squad. And then the next few episodes, we had this Jin-e guy who was a manslayer along Kenshin. I don't think they knew each other, but they heard of each other. But this guy never stopped killing. Like, he didn't go the same way that Kenshin did, where Kenshin's kind of sympathized with the Seki Hotai, and he knew that they were like unjustly slaughtered, you can say, and he resolved himself at that time to try to carry out their work, it seems. But this other guy, Jin-e, he definitely just went on killing people because that's who he is. He's a manslayer, and he'll always be a manslayer. And he believes anyone who was a manslayer will continue to be a manslayer. And that may be true, but Kenshin's definitely changed. And he did vow there at the end that Kenshin is a manslayer, and he will always be one. But Kenshin kind of dismissed that at the end of episode 7, saying, I'm a wanderer. I may be a manslayer, but I'm also a wanderer, and that's who I am over anything else. So that was really awesome. I was going to end it on episode 6, as you all know, if you watch the reaction before you're listening to this, which I'm hoping you all do. But I couldn't. That was such a cliffhanger that I had to watch the next episode. I was pissed that it ended that way, and that guy was just a dirty, he played dirty. He said that he'd give them time and come back, but then he just jumped out of nowhere and stole Karu. And Kenshin had no choice but to go after him. And I thought for a hot minute there he was going to break his vow of no killing. But I'm glad that Karu was able to snap him out of it and overcome the illusion, that paralyzing illusion that Jin-e put her in order to help Kenshin remember who he is and realize that there's still a way without being a manslayer. And I really, really, really like the episodes. I talked a little bit about this in the reaction at the end. The animation is pretty damn good. It's not the best animation I've ever seen, but it's an older anime, so I can't fault it. But it's definitely good animation and great artwork for its time. The dub is okay. I don't think the dub is the best dub, but I think it's a good dub, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So I know that a lot of people wanted me to watch this in sub, but that's just not what I'm gonna do. I prefer dubs, and the only reason I would ever watch something in sub is if there was no dub, or if everyone unanimously tells me that the dub changes the story from how it's supposed to be told, like dramatically, to the point that it's a different story. Because there are some dubs that do that, and I don't agree with it. So I won't watch those dubs. But this, I'm pretty sure, is at least as close to the story as it can be for its time of when they made it. But maybe it's not as good as the sub, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it right now. It's definitely going to be a series that I remember, and maybe we'll even rewatch again in the future when I'm done with it. I guess I'll see when I'm done, but so far, 7 episodes in, I'm enjoying the absolute crap out of this series so far. The Kenshin's way of speaking is intriguing and funny and unique. Like, I'm not used to a character speaking the way he does. It's kind of a little Yoda-esque, but not exactly. Like, it's different. He's not speaking the way Yoda does, but that he does, and stuff that he adds at the end of sentences is definitely interesting. I don't know if that's like a way of speaking back then or what, but it's really cool. I also like that this takes place in Japan and has like real Japanese eras that took place as its influence. I don't know a lot about Japanese history, so it's kind of cool. Even though this isn't a completely accurate, it's kind of cool to hear a little bit about it. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. other than this series is great so far, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Chronic Gamer. Peace.